Hello everybody, my name is Mark. Welcome to Lake Superior College Center for Advanced Aviation. I'm going to do another video here. I know I covered in one of my videos about how to do rivets and how to remove rivets. I'm going to just do a quick video here specializing on how to remove a couple different kinds of rivets. And on this one I'm going to talk about only solid shank rivets. I kind of covered some blind rivets before, but today we'll talk about solid shank rivets. The beautiful thing about removing rivets is most of the rivets that we use in airplanes are AD rivets, and the way to designate an AD rivet is with a recessed dimple that's on the rivet. And I don't even know if the camera can get that, but AD rivets have a recessed dimple, which is kind of nice because that dimple is right on the center of the rivet, and it gives your drill a spot to start with. So what I like to do, I'll show you how to remove this 3 rivet here, is find my punch, and I find that recessed dimple, and I just kind of accentuate it with the punch. So now I've made a little hole. Now I can take I have a number 40 bit in here because this is a 3 rivet. Find my drill bit, and I'm kind of right in that hole that I just punched. And now what I'm going to do is center my drill and make sure I'm nice and straight. I usually start slow at first, make sure it takes. I got a little bit off center, but I'm going to kind of get it back to center. Now some people go right about to there, and then use a punch and try to knock it out. And that's a perfectly acceptable method. The book even kind of talks about it. I think once you get good at drilling out a rivet, you can just drill the whole thing out, and usually the head will come like that. You can tell oh shoot, it fell on the floor. So there goes that one. And I just took a pin punch and punched it out. So the beautiful thing about that is I did get it right in the center, so it did not damage the sheet metal. So I would be able to, if I needed to, I'd be able to just put another 3 rivet right in there. When you get good at it, you will be able to get your drill bit right in the center. If you're ever in a shop, working in a shop, you'll see a lot of sheet metal guys that leave their drill bit like this, and they leave their rivets on there. It's kind of a little badge honor thing, a little trophy thing, that they're like, yeah, I'm that good where I can, I don't know, on my bit here I got probably 20 or so rivets, and they're all perfectly drilled in the center. Another way to do it that the book recommends is if it's not an AD rivet, or especially if it's one of the rivets that has a protruding dimple, is take a file and carefully, without damaging the work, take a file and give yourself a nice flat area. Then take your punch and right in the center make a hole. Now this is a number 4 rivet, and I still have a number 40 bit in here. So what I'm going to do is get my drill bit right on my hole, my punch hole, and now this would be easier if I was using my pneumatic drill. Spins a lot faster, but I only was planning on doing a couple rivets, so it would probably also help if I had a sharper drill bit, evidently. So now that rivet's still in there because this was a number 40 bit and that was a number 4 rivet. So now I'm going to put in a number 30 bit. So now I got a good pilot hole there, and if you look at it, it's right in the center of that rivet. So now it'll drill out really nice for me. You can see the rivet head stuck to my drill bit there, which means I got it right in the center. The shop head just comes off, and there is the removed number 4 rivet. Again, I didn't damage the original surface, so if I needed to, I could put a number 4 rivet back in there. I do the same process if I'm going to remove a number 5 rivet. Like, I'll remove this one right here. I still have a number 30 bit on here. Yeah, I'll leave my little rivet head on there. I'm right in the recessed dimple. So there's a number, that was a 30 bit in a number 5 rivet, so now I need to come back some problems today, evidently. Now I'm just going to come at. Sometimes you don't need to go all the way through the rivet. I could take a pin punch and bust that out. So let's say you did go all the way through and the rivet still didn't come out. That probably meant that you weren't directly right on center. But a lot of times if you put a pin punch in there and kind of just roll it around, you can hear, I don't know if you could hear it crack, but I cracked that one out of there. So now that rivet breaks off. And I didn't do any damage. I didn't do any damage to my original hole. I'm going to put a number 40 bit back in here. Same principle for flush rivets. I got some flush rivets here. And they're AD rivets, so they do have a little recessed dimple. I'm gonna accentuate it. I think I have a bum drill bit. I'm gonna take care of that problem right now. Grab a fresh drill bit here. Okay. So now this is a number, it's a number 4 flush rivet. I'm starting out with a 40 bit. Go all the way through. Then I'll put in my number 30 bit. And eventually you can see I just ripped the head right off, and the shop head came out, and you can see a good clean hole. I didn't mess up the surface at all. So I'd be able to, if I needed to, put a number 4 flush rivet back in there. Let me show you what happens. I'm going to purposely try to mess one up. Let's say I'm going to try to take out this 4 rivet right here, and I'm going to try to mess it up. One of the nice things, if you use a pneumatic drill instead of this electric one, you can get your drill bit right on where you want to do it, and you can kind of do the first few rotations by hand. Makes it a little bit easier. But you can see how I started this one. I purposely started it off center. Okay, I purposely started that one off center, so I'm going to drill it off center. Easy for me to say. What is with all my drill bits? Okay, so I got a nice hole there off center. I'm going to go to my number 30 bit. So I'm off center. Okay. And the head came off. Boy, I didn't really do it as bad as I wanted to, but I have oblonged that hole a little bit. How I would know is I'll put my 30 bit in there, and there's some slop. So I've taken that hole, no longer would accept a number 4 rivet. A 4 rivet would be too small for that hole. So sometimes if you mess up a hole, life isn't over, because you can upsize it. Now the one thing you have to be careful about, and I'll do it right here, so I take this number 21 bit and go through there, and it's still, that hole is buggered up enough where that 21 bit didn't even do it. So I would have to size this up to a number 11 bit to put a 6 rivet in there. Here's the problem. This edge distance from the edge of this, from the center of this hole to the edge of this piece here, probably is not within tolerance to put a 6 rivet in there. So something to look out for, if this was a piece of an airplane, by not getting the rivet directly in the center, you may actually destroy the whole piece of the airplane. So just imagine if this was part of the skin of the fuselage, now you would have to replace a whole piece of skin just simply because you kind of oblonged a hole. Some other things to look at here. If we zoom in, you can see whoever riveted this, you can see quite a few smileys. You can see some places where the rivet gun slipped off, especially right here. It actually did some damage to the skin. This one got pretty damaged with a smiley. So those are all things that would need to be fixed if this was on an airplane. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. So remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, and check out all my other videos. Thank you.